Wilson Chronicles is a Half-Life mod made by
Voordarm.
In it, you play as Darren Wilson, a member of the Military Research Division at Black Mesa, who manages communications between Black Mesa and the Pentagon. The game takes place at the same time as the Black Mesa incident in the same location. But I'm actually talking about this game for a completely different reason, and that's the developer and the reviews left for the game. The developer seems to have a really bad habit of leaving really shit dev responses to people who drop negative reviews on his game, to the point where other people in the reviews comment on it and even go as far as to leave negative reviews just to get a response out of him. There aren't even that many bad reviews for the game. As of recording, the percentage for positive reviews is at 74%. The developer quite literally doesn't need to address these at all. He can just sit there and the positive reviews will outweigh the negatives, but he chooses to continue to address it for some reason. So after seeing all of these reviews, I got really curious, so I downloaded the game and I'm gonna find out what's up with it. But first, I guess I have to preface this by saying, don't go out of your way to harass the person who made this game. I'm sure they're a great person. Their game is just sort of subpar, I guess. There's nothing wrong with that. And don't leave any negative reviews for the game either, just to get a response out of him. That's review bombing. That's not very good, so let's not do that. So this video is going to be split up into 2 parts. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing there. 2 parts. So the first part's going to be the game itself, and then the second part is going to be looking into the reviews of the game. Before I go ahead and get into the game though, I have a Twitch. You can see it somewhere up here. And I also have a Discord server, which has some fun people. Just come swing by, say hi. That's how you know a video is coming or what I'm working on. I'm always dropping little sneak peeks and shit up there. It's a good place to be. Ignore the hair, by the way. I just showered and it's a mess. But with that all out of the way, let's go ahead and get started with the game. Oh, that's fantastic. The music slider doesn't work on the music. The game starts out with you as Darren Wilson waking up in your apartment and leaving to go to work. And even though this is the very beginning of the game, its issues with telling the player where they're supposed to go is already present. I see what people meant when they said they were getting stuck. Where am I supposed to go? This is an issue that I've noticed a lot with this game, but for it to even show up at the very fucking beginning is pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of useless space in here, and the game feels like it directs you to these areas when they're not the areas you're supposed to go. And this happens a lot, and I'll show more examples later on. Okay, so I looked up a tutorial, and I'm not supposed to go down here, which is the path that the game leads you to think, considering this door specifically makes a noise when you try to open it. But no, you're supposed to grab this key and open this door, which doesn't have a keyhole on it. I wonder when my crosshair will stop being at the top left corner of my screen. Also, Sackboy is in this game for some reason. It's the dude from Little Big Planet, bro. What he doing? After nearly having to break out of my own house, you then proceed to the garage and then get your car and then you drive to Black Mesa. The problem here is there's no indicator of which car is yours, so you kind of... I didn't even know I was supposed to get in a car. There's no indicator of it. Maybe like a photo of Wilson's red Mustang would have been a good indicator that, hey, this is your car, but there's just nothing like that here, so I just ended up wandering for a bit. Oh, well, no, it's this door. No, it's not. It's just, oh my fucking god. Something tells me that walkthroughs are gonna be my best friend throughout playing this game. Why does the elevator button make a noise if I'm not supposed to use it? Okay, so upon further research, I have to get in this car and drive off. Okay. You then proceed to go on an obnoxiously long drive through New Mexico to get to the Black Mesa Research Facility. I wouldn't mind it as much if there was a bit more exposition on the screen. You get the name and like the role of Darren Wilson. Not much else, so you're just sitting here for the next couple of minutes doing jack shit. The scene is going on for a lot longer than needed. To be fair, Half-Life also did this a lot, so did Blue Shift and Opposing Force, but when they did it, most of the time, you would get a good feel for the environment. It was a really good way to build up the location around you and get you used to it. The tram sequence in Half-Life 1 went on for a very long time, but you were always given something to look at. In this scene, not so much. Oh, and on top of that, my game crashed. Great, I have to do it all over again. Well, at least my crosshair's in the right place now. You then arrive at the Black Mesa Research Facility where the guards are, Now obviously this mod has one developer and no voice actors, and that's completely fine, but some lines genuinely do feel out of place, like the one where there's someone working at one of the desks who mentions getting their hands on Dr. Breen when this game takes place at the same time as Half-Life 1. Wait, what? Why did she say that? Wait, doesn't this take place during like Half-Life 1? Okay. You then enter a room with a random scientist who mistakes you for Dr. Freeman, and then it happens. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. There was no, like, okay. You then wake up, and then the game finally begins. By the way, that same animation is used again later on in the game, just copy-pasted, so. The game's method of leading you towards a certain path is usually done by placing flares in a certain direction, but it can actually work against the game, like how it does here when I can't even see the vent the game wants me to crawl through because the smoke from the flare just blocks it out. Wait. That vent is almost impossible to see with that smoke. You then go to get your HEV suit, which I actually have to admit I do like the look of it. It's just a tint change to green, but I still like it nonetheless. Oh, that suit actually looks pretty cool. There's also this weird blue set of HEV armor, which I don't think you can obtain, but I still think it looks cool. The choice melee weapon for this game is a fire axe that you find while delving into Black Mesa. It's alright, it's just another melee weapon, I guess. And honestly, there really isn't anything else of note that's particularly interesting, so I'm just gonna get to the stuff that kind of annoyed me about the game. There's nothing crazy about the role that you're in, even though you should be like a pretty high up role. There should be some interesting perspectives as someone who has communications between, you know, Black Mesa and the US government, but there's nothing like that. There's no like radio comm signaling that like the US government is invading and sending in grunts and shit. It's just nothing like that. There was an area in which I had to like crouch under, but the game just wouldn't fully crouch, or I guess I just wasn't able to fit, so my head just clipped through, and it made it really weird and annoying to get anything done. Oh, okay, I'm supposed to go down here. I just physically can't crouch that low. Another weird decision they made were with the Vortigaunts, where they attack extremely fast, like too fast for you to react to the first time around. In other Half-Life games, they give you like maybe a second or two to react, and that's how it is with a good portion of enemies that attack from a distance. I think all of them actually do that other than like grunts and shit, but these boys just snipe right away. Holy shit! I mean, once you expect it, it's a lot easier to handle, but it just feels weird and it doesn't line up with the balancing of Half-Life. Oh, now I can crouch down here. Honestly, the rest of the game is pretty boring to cover, so I'll just show some of the funnier parts.
Sector C, science, personnel, report to anomalous material.
Hey, buddy, I appreciate it if you would help me.
Science.
Dude. Wait, they can walk through the lasers, but I can't.
Hey, over here! Finally.
Oh my god, my frame rate is so bad. After that final clusterfuck of a fight, you enter an elevator where the game finally fucking ends. The dipshit AI guard decided he wanted to come with me to the end of the game, and I was not going to let that happen. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. This ended up being more fun than the game's combat. And that's it. The game ends. If I were to give you my honest opinion, it's probably a 6 out of 10. It's nothing crazy. It's not Hunt Down the Freeman levels of dog shit. It's just unpolished and not very well designed. I still had fun, honestly. It's not too bad. It's free. There's nothing to lose when you play it, so. I would say the choices around the enemies are questionable. The level design is confusing at best, and the story is honestly non-existent. It sure shit isn't like anything the reviews would have you believe. Oh yeah, I think we should go ahead and talk about those now. Now there are going to be a few issues, as the creator of the game does respond to positive comments. In English, most, if not all of the negative ones, which are the ones that we really want to look into, are going to be responded to in French. I don't really speak French. However, we always have Google Translate to aid us. So grab a baguette and get ready to listen to an angry Frenchman. Okay, so the first one's in English. It's a very simple response. A guy complaining about an escort mission with the guard that I disposed of, and the dev's response was welcome on Half-Life 2. I don't think it's a big issue in Half-Life 2 though. I don't know about that one, Chief. Now the next review is pretty long and it goes into a lot of detail, I would say, more than I care to read. You know my opinion on the game. But the funny part is the dev's response, which is blah blah, learn to write before putting a note that doesn't matter, and above all is shit. This one's pretty good too. Who the blank would play this game? Not you. Man! What the fuck? Had me hooked until I got to a point where I didn't know what I was supposed to do. It's Half-Life, but with another hero and another way. Not good plus developer salty lol. To which the developer responded, as bad as your hateful and shitty comment. Let me get some ice for that burn. Hunt down the Freeman, but free and worse. But you can go fuck yourself. Made by the French. And the French fuck you. What the fuck? The developer's common excuse for the game's state is saying that it is in beta, which would be a good excuse if it wasn't last updated in November of 2019. Bruh! I don't know, man. I feel like when you don't update it anymore, I think it can be critiqued as if it's a finished product. Hunt down the Freeman 2, but this time the dev also has the maturity of an 8-year-old. Let's go play Hunt Down the Freeman for me. Smile. In this review, the dev jokes about the player's operating system being Windows 95 when he talks about how laggy it is. And from experience, the frame drops can be pretty fucking heavy. And I have a pretty decent rig, especially for a Half-Life mod, I would say. The person who made this mod definitely isn't like a bad person or anything. I just thought the reviews were really funny, pretty entertaining. The mod, it's not, you know, amazing, but there's stuff to enjoy about it, right? This mod was a passion project from the dev. I mean, for fuck's sake, the dude worked on it since 2010. When you put that much effort into something for a long period of time, and it comes out and everybody hates it, or there's at least a substantial collection of feedback that just really isn't that good, of course you're gonna feel bad about it. Of course you're gonna feel like shit. Of course you're gonna respond probably in a volatile way. You know, I can definitely understand that. And when you take into account the fact that it was developed by one guy, it's actually like pretty impressive. I definitely can see the developer like getting better at what he's doing and making better shit, and he has something special. So if he decides to make more mods in the future or has future projects, I definitely don't want to discourage that. It's a solid mod for what it is, and I respect the work the dev put into it. He could just learn to be a little bit more chill when it comes to criticism, I guess. But I think that about does it for this video. I'd like to thank you guys very much for watching. This video was a bit of a longer one considering my 3 to 5 minute montages and shit. So thank you for sitting through it. I genuinely appreciate every single one of you who watches these videos. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and close it out there. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and take it easy.